I am absolutely going to testify. I won't even say his name. He is an evil being, and it's going to pay.
I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
The courtroom fell silent, a hushed tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Security guards suddenly rushed forward. Sean Diddy Combs, the man whose composed facade had seemed unbreakable, suddenly shattered into a million pieces right before everyone's eyes. His fists clenched so tight his knuckles turned white, veins bulging in his neck as he shot up from his chair with such force it nearly toppled backward. "This is all lies," he shouted, his voice echoing off the walls. Like thunder, the jury visibly recoiled. Court reporters froze mid-type. What triggered this explosive outburst? A display of raw rage that shocked even the veteran judge who'd seen it all. Just moments earlier, a digital grenade had detonated directly in Diddy's perfectly curated world. Justin Bieber, one of the biggest stars on the planet, had broken the music industry's code of silence with a bombshell statement supporting Cassie that absolutely no one saw coming. This wasn't just another celebrity sending vague support. This was a massive star with undeniable industry credibility taking a definitive side during an active trial against one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. Inside sources are now revealing the uncensored truth about what really happened behind those sealed courtroom doors on day 2 of the trial that has Hollywood holding its breath and the music industry crumbling.
I just want to protect her, I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, if she ever needs me, just think about how young I was and so impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, and
It's like taking a kid and putting a kid in a room full of nothing but sweets.
Right.
And just saying, I'll be back in 2 days.
Exactly. I just want people to understand, the psychology behind why I potentially could have.
Day 2 had started with an eerie calm that felt like the stillness before a hurricane. Diddy walked in surrounded by his expensive legal team. Not just any attorneys, but the kind that charge thousands of dollars an hour and represent presidents. He was projecting the same confidence that had built his billion-dollar empire, dressed in a custom-tailored Italian suit that probably cost more than what most people make in a month. His diamond cuff links caught the fluorescent courtroom lights as he adjusted his tie, but something was subtly different today. His eyes darted around the room nervously, scanning faces as if searching for potential threats or spies. One courtroom sketch artist later told reporters that she'd never drawn eyes that looked so haunted in her 15 years covering high-profile cases. Court officials had quietly added extra security near his table, not the usual protocol even for celebrity trials of this magnitude. The atmosphere felt electrically charged, as if everyone was collectively holding their breath, waiting for something to explode. Then Cassie made her entrance, and the energy in the room instantly transformed. Wearing a simple black dress with a white collar, modest, sophisticated, nothing flashy, she walked with a quiet dignity that commanded attention more effectively than any designer outfit could. She was surrounded by a protective circle of friends who formed a human shield around her, their faces set with determination. None of them were celebrities or music industry players, just ordinary people who'd stood by her when the spotlight wasn't on them. The contrast couldn't have been more striking. Diddy with paid security worth 6 figures, Cassie with loyal supporters who ask for nothing in return. But what truly caught the attention of close observers wasn't just the different entourages, but Diddy's increasingly strange behavior. He couldn't stop checking his phone, a custom device reserved for the ultra-wealthy. His thumb scrolled obsessively across the screen, his breathing pattern changing with each swipe. Court reporters sitting closest to him noted that his hand actually trembled slightly, something completely out of character for a man known for his unwavering control. Each time he looked at the screen, his expression darkened like storm clouds gathering, until his visibly panicked lawyer physically reached over and forcefully took the device away, whispering something urgent in his ear that made Diddy's jaw clench so tight a muscle twitched in his cheek. What nobody in that courtroom realized, not even Diddy's own legal team, was that he had seen something on social media just minutes before proceedings began that would completely unravel his carefully constructed public persona. His team desperately tried to hide his phone, but it was too late. The damage was done. He'd already seen what Justin Bieber had posted, and it was about to change not just the trial, but potentially the entire power structure of the music industry that Diddy had dominated for decades. This wasn't just another celebrity making a carefully neutral statement crafted by publicists. This was unprecedented, a massive star with unimpeachable credibility taking a definitive side against one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. The post carried extra weight because of the deep history connecting Bieber and Diddy. Industry insiders knew the significance immediately. Those infamous videos of teenage Bieber hanging out at Diddy's exclusive parties had circulated for years. Clips showing a very young Justin being introduced to Diddy's world of luxury, excess, and power. Diddy had publicly referred to himself as Justin's mentor and big brother countless times. He'd even claimed at one point to have legal guardianship of Bieber for 48 hours, a statement that now took on disturbing new context in light of recent allegations. That long, seemingly close connection made this public statement feel like the ultimate betrayal to Diddy, like a family member testifying against you in court. What made Bieber's post truly devastating wasn't just its timing, but its shocking specificity. There was nothing vague or open to interpretation about it. He directly mentioned witnessing Diddy's controlling behavior toward Cassie at no fewer than 7 different industry events spanning 3 years. He described in precise detail seeing Diddy grab Cassie's arm so forcefully it left visible marks. At the 2015 Met Gala after party, he recounted an incident at the 2016 AMAs where Diddy cut Cassie off mid-sentence during an interview, answered for her, then whispered something in her ear that made her visibly pale. He mentioned a private dinner where Diddy monitored every word Cassie spoke and created a chilling atmosphere that made everyone uncomfortable. These weren't vague recollections or secondhand rumors. These were firsthand accounts with dates, locations, and even the names of other witnesses present, details that could be verified. The level of specificity suggested Bieber had been keeping detailed notes for years, perhaps struggling with how to address what he had witnessed. This wasn't an impulsive post, but something carefully considered. The post included a particularly powerful photo that spoke volumes even without the accompanying text. It showed Bieber and Cassie at a Grammy after-party. Body language experts later analyzed the image, pointing out telling details. Cassie's smile didn't reach her eyes, her body angled away from Diddy, and most damning, the edge of the photo showed Diddy's hand gripping Cassie's wrist, his fingers clearly digging into her skin. Bieber's caption expressed profound regret. "I've always respected Cassie's strength and dignity through circumstances none of us fully understood. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner. I was young and afraid, but that's no excuse. What I witnessed wasn't normal or acceptable behavior. Standing with you now and always. Truth needs no permission." The post concluded with a butterfly emoji, a symbol of transformation and freedom. With millions of followers seeing this post within minutes, its impact was immediate and seismic. The hashtag "I believe Cassie" began trending globally instantly. News outlets from everywhere immediately began running headlines. This wasn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This was a massive cultural inflection point. A beloved global superstar was essentially confirming the power dynamics that Cassie had described. Industry insiders immediately began speculating about what other stars might come forward next. Back in the courtroom, the tension when proceedings resumed was thick enough to cut with a knife. Every face showed awareness that something monumental had shifted during the brief recess. The judge's expression was more severe. The jurors exchanged meaningful glances and the gallery buzzed. The only person who appeared completely unfazed was Cassie herself. She approached the witness stand with a transformation that stunned everyone present. Gone was the woman who had testified on day one, keeping her eyes downcast, her voice trembling. In her place stood someone entirely different. She walked with shoulders squared and head held high, her steps measured and confident. Instead of avoiding eye contact, she looked directly at jury members. Most notably, she didn't shy away from Diddy's direction, though she never directly engaged his increasingly agitated stare. She simply acted as if he wasn't significant enough to acknowledge. The ultimate power move against someone whose entire identity revolved around being the most important person in any room. Cassie described with remarkable composure how Diddy systematically controlled every aspect of her personal and professional life. Her testimony, delivered in a steady voice, revealed a pattern of isolation and control that experts would later describe as textbook coercive tactics. She explained how Diddy gradually separated her from friends, family, and industry contacts who might offer support. He had a specific list of male artists I wasn't allowed to speak with unless he was physically present, she testified, referring to a document the prosecution then displayed. An actual printed list with names like Drake, The Weeknd, Chris Brown, and most notably Justin Bieber, all highlighted in red. When asked how this rule was enforced, she explained, he had staff members whose sole job was to monitor my interactions at events. She continued, when I asked why Justin was on the list since he seemed harmless, Diddy told me not to question him. He said, I know things about that kid that would shock you, just do what I say. When I pressed the issue at an after party, he grabbed my arm in front of everyone, hard enough to leave fingerprint bruises, and whispered that I'd regret it if I ever questioned him again on this. What made her testimony particularly compelling was the level of specific detail she provided. She didn't speak in generalities, but recalled precise moments with exact dates, locations, and witnesses. She detailed incidents of constant monitoring, demanding her location every minute, controlling her phone and messages, and using threats about her career. Then came the testimony that pushed Diddy visibly closer to the breaking point. Cassie recounted an incident following the 2017 BET Awards after party. She briefly spoke to Justin Bieber about a potential collaboration while Diddy was speaking with another executive across the room. It was maybe a 2-minute conversation about music, completely professional. Diddy appeared suddenly between them, smiled for the cameras, then guided her away with his arm locked around her waist. Once they were in the car heading back to the hotel, his entire demeanor changed. His face, it was like nothing I'd seen before. He was so angry his hands were shaking. He told her, even Justin knows what happens to people who cross me. Everyone in this industry knows the consequences. Nobody's career survives going against me. She paused, then added the detail that made several jurors visibly react. He said, I made him, and I can break him just as easily. The same goes for you. Test me again and see what happens to both of you. With Bieber now publicly supporting her, this years-old threat suddenly appeared incredibly damning, transforming from what might have been dismissed as an angry ex's exaggeration into what now sounded like a documented pattern of intimidation. The courtroom atmosphere shifted dramatically when the prosecutor then revealed what would become the most discussed evidence of the trial. A series of previously undisclosed text messages between Justin Bieber and Cassie from 2017 through 2018. The lead prosecutor approached the evidence screen stating, Your Honor, we'd like to present digital communications that directly contradict Mr. Combs' claim that Ms. Ventura fabricated these allegations recently for financial gain or attention. The screen displayed the first exchange from August 2017. Cassie had written, I don't know what to do anymore. He monitors everything, my phone, my social media, even has people watching me when he's not around. He said, if I talk to anyone about what's happening, he'll make sure I never work again and will handle anyone who tries to help me. I'm scared all the time. And Bieber's response appeared beneath, this isn't normal, Cass. What he's doing isn't okay. This is serious control stuff my mom warned me about. You need to talk to someone who can help, a professional who understands this kind of situation. I can help you find someone safe. A second exchange from October 2017 showed Cassie writing, things got worse after he saw us talking at the after party. I don't think I can do this much longer. Bieber responded, document everything, screenshots, photos, dates. I've seen how he operates and this isn't right. No career is worth what you're going through. People wouldn't believe what happens behind closed doors with him. The third and most damning exchange came from February 2018, where Cassie had sent, he found out I was talking to a lawyer about my contract. I've never seen him so angry. He threw a crystal vase at the wall next to my head, said he owns me and my career. I don't know how to get out. Bieber's response, this is abuse. Full stop. I'm worried about your safety. You need to get somewhere. He can't find you while you figure out next steps. I know people are scared of him in the industry, but this has gone too far. These messages completely contradicted Diddy's claim that Cassie had fabricated allegations for money or fame. Yet evidence showed she had been confiding in Bieber about the exact same behavioral patterns years before filing any lawsuit. As this evidence appeared on the courtroom screens, Diddy's composure finally shattered completely. He shot up from his chair, the scraping sound making everyone jump, his face flushed deep red, his eyes bulging with rage. "This is all lies," he shouted, pointing at Cassie. "You know DMN well, that's not what happened. Where's your loyalty after everything I did for you? You're making this all up, both of you." His voice escalated with each word. The judge immediately banged her gavel 3 times, ordering him to sit down or be removed. Security officers rushed forward, one positioning himself between Diddy and Cassie. "Those are fake. They fabricated those messages." Diddy continued shouting, gesturing wildly at the evidence screen. "This is a setup. Justin never said that." His attorney desperately tried to regain control, shouting for a recess, but it was too late. The judge ordered the jury removed immediately. As they filed out, many couldn't help staring at Diddy, who was still standing and shouting, "The security." Guards moved in on both sides of him, firmly instructing him to calm down. With the jury out of the room, Judge Marlowe stood up and delivered a devastating rebuke. "Mr. Combs, this is a court of law, not a recording studio. You do not control what happens here." Her words cut through the tension like a knife. "One more outburst like that and I will hold you in contempt. You'll spend the remainder of this trial in a cell, making appearances only when necessary." She ordered a psychiatric evaluation before the next day's proceedings and imposed new security protocols. 2 officers would remain within arm's reach of Diddy at all times. His lawyers couldn't speak to him without an officer present, and his phone privileges were completely revoked. When the jury returned, their reactions were impossible to miss. Several physically shifted away from the defense table. One juror, who had been taking detailed notes, now sat with arms crossed, pen untouched. Most telling was juror number 8, a young professional who had smiled at Diddy on day 1, but now wouldn't look in his direction. The contrast between Cassie and Diddy couldn't have been more striking. Through it all, she maintained perfect composure, sitting with excellent posture, hands folded in her lap, expression neutral. When Diddy had his outburst, she didn't flinch or show fear. She displayed complete control while he demonstrated a total lack of it. As day 2 concluded, Diddy shuffled out with his tie loosened, surrounded by lawyers who looked completely defeated. His eyes stayed fixed on the floor, avoiding the reporters who packed the hallway. Legal experts observing the proceedings couldn't contain their reactions. "He just lost right there," whispered one former federal prosecutor. "Amateur hour," muttered another defense attorney. The jury had witnessed Diddy lose control and make threats in open court, a moment that may have already decided the case, regardless of what other evidence might emerge. What was witnessed wasn't just about evidence, but character. Cassie remained calm and strong, while Diddy completely unraveled when Justin Bieber took her side. Their true personalities emerged under pressure, revealing what had potentially been hidden for years. The biggest question now isn't just about the verdict in this specific case, but who else might come forward. Justin Bieber just broke the unspoken celebrity code of silence. That door is now wide open, and more stars might be ready to walk through it with their own stories. Industry insiders are now speculating about what this means for both Diddy's empire and the music business as a whole. Will this case spark a larger reckoning within an industry that has often protected powerful figures at the expense of victims? As day 3 approaches, everyone is wondering what other bombshells might drop, and will Diddy be able to maintain his composure when faced with them? The courtroom drama continues, but after today's explosive developments, many believe the verdict may already be written.